We're trying to expand globally. Long curly hair and a beard, but he ain't Toby Keith. You might have thought it's beef, but we gon' handle that. Stealing jerseys off of the wall like fuck Vanderjack. Okay, he ran with that, and now he's on the loose. Put a little bit of poison in his Jamba Juice. Go ahead and drink on that, just take another sip. Need an appraisal, shout out to Ron Huffin' Dick. The kids loving this, I know you heard it, son. The purpose is perfect, every person we learn something from. Go ahead and come along, we have a little fun. A few questions, how about 31?
Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I forgot how fire that intro is. 31, we are back. It's been a while since we had a couple 31s, but that is about to change because I recorded 2 today. I got 2. I'm recording tomorrow. I'm shooting my shot, reaching out, trying to get all these people that would usually tell me they're way too busy to do the podcast. Some of them are still too busy, which I don't know. I'm not calling bullshit on, but kind of bullshit. But whatever. You don't have to do a podcast. And I think a lot of times people don't realize how fun this podcast is until they do it, because it's not just your generic, hey, what's your worst gig? What's the road like? Are you nervous to do? No, we talk about real shit. We got a good episode today. Shout out real quick to all the Patreons. You guys are getting us through this. I don't know when it's going to end, but I appreciate you and everybody that bought a book. A couple of you just Venmo'd me money, which is just sweet. You're just so nice. We've sold a bunch of, I'm staring at 2 boxes of books I've sold. I have to tonight put stickers in and write thank you notes and ship off hopefully tomorrow. So we're staying alive. We're making them little money and we're making content. So I hope you guys are all doing good. This is like day 4 or 5. Who knows how long this is going to last. My girlfriend was super trying to stay upbeat yesterday, but then it snowed today and it's just crushed her. And she's fucking just miserable because everyone around her tells her the world's ending. So I hope it's not. I'm trying to stay positive. If the world's ending, don't tell me. Let's just believe it'll get better. I mean, I just gotta believe. So not that my beliefs were shit, but I don't know. I'm just tired of looking on Facebook a bunch of fucking idiots that don't know anything. Then a lot of smart people that know stuff and other people know stuff, and I don't know any of it. All I know is I have a content factory. Thankful to you Patreons and to the people that support me. So instead of sit up there and fucking worry, I get down here and make content for you guys. So I hope you enjoy this one. This was a very fun interview I did today with my buddy Butch Bradley. I've known him for a long time. He's a great comic and he's an interesting dude, man. He's funny, and he's currently in Vegas at a residency at the LA Comedy Club, but a guy that's performed for the troops maybe 5,000 times, been on a bunch of TV, and is just a real good dude. So I enjoyed talking to him. It was a fun one. And like I said, I got many more of them coming. I'm going to try to give you guys a podcast today and help you through this. So I hope this is helping a little bit, and I hope everybody's good, and that's it. So here we go. This is whatever episode this is with my very funny friend, Butch Bradley. And we are back. It's another day, another podcast. We're stuck inside, but I'm going to try to make it better for you guys. Today, my guest is one of my very good friends. He tours all over the country. He has a residency at the beautiful LA Comedy Club in the Stratosphere, and he's one of my favorites. So I'm glad to have my buddy Butch Bradley here. Hey, Butchie, how are you, bud?
Great to be here, brother. It's just funny because it's only day 3, and I just can't believe when you store food, something weird has happened. Because my girl and I, we are eating 5 times as much as we have ever eaten in our lives because we're bored. We just I'm like, what do we want to do? We should eat. We should just eat. We should just eat. We should eat. Like, we're eating better than we've ever eaten, but we're already down to probably 14 days of supplies when we started with 30. You know, like we're
Yeah.
done. We got about 10 days left, and then I break into the neighbor's house.
Yeah, I'm with you. I weighed myself in on Monday. I'm like, this is my chance. I'm not going to drink for a month. I'll lose a little weight. And I weighed myself in yesterday, and I'd gained 1.5 pounds. I'm like, God dang it.
Right?
But,
in like 40 hours.
Yeah.
We should just sit on the scale. Just sit on it. But yeah, it's insane. I mean, you're home hood, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see the city so quiet. But I do believe if any city in the world would be so resilient to restart as soon as it could, it's this one.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm praying for that, because God bless anybody sick out there, but it's more frightening to me than being sick or recovering or dealing with that human element is economy crushing society, and that will bring much worse outcome, in my belief, than this virus. I really do think, like, I mean, I don't want anybody to die. People have been flipping out on me because I'm like, look, I love my mom. I told her not to leave the house. I'll ship her food. That's my responsibility. But if you're under the age of 5 or over the age of 65, or you already have a, element that you need to be worried about with health, hey, listen, good luck, because I need to work.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy to see I can't imagine what Vegas is like today. Just looking at the pictures I saw, I was like, I've never seen anything like it. Just dark and everything you're used to. It's crazy.
It's also like sad to just see people like going into the stores and the shelves are so bare, and people are buying things up that why are you buying it up? People need things, I was really humbled up. We went to a Mexican market, and I entered with my it was almost like I entered another country, one of those really cool markets. It's like I entered Mexico. Everybody was sweet. Everybody was nice. My girl's from Mexico City. We go in. The shelves are still packed. Everyone's laughing. The music hit me. And we're ordering. And he said to my fiance, he said, are you guys really thinking this is like the end? Like we're in trouble? Because, they're all just living and being kind. And then I just gradually started putting my cans of tuna back on the shelf. And I just bought what I needed. And I left there as a better person,
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, I see most people coming together and trying to help each other, and comics trying to help each other. So I think we'll get through it. I mean, I was hoping. I mean, it looks like 8 weeks for us. I was reading about Vegas. I think they said May 11th was kind of what I read today. So I guess that's 8 weeks too. But man, I don't know.
Well, the greatest thing about casinos is their disregard for life. That is in my favor. These people don't give a shit if we live or die. So in a way, it's like the best person to have in your corner.
Yeah.
Because if they could open up, they would open up as soon as they can and a week before. Like they want the money. We know tragedy has hit Vegas before. This is your hood. And what do? People are playing blackjack during one of the most tragic events ever. So this virus is not going to slow Vegas. There are some creepy old white men in a back room somewhere trying to get these places open.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if they're the first ones back, just because, and it's just such an industry town. I was talking to my best friend that lives there. Well, lucky for him, he's like, I can finally quit gambling. So hopefully this will give people a break from their addictions. But yeah, it's rough.
Right. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, right. You would think. I'm in the dog park, and I'm with there's a bunch of poker pros there, and they look like they were having a frenzy breakdown. And I go, what's going on? And I'm joking. I go, hey, boys, looking for a gambling hall? And they're like, do you have a game? Are you holding a game? I go, yo, I was just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't have a game. Like, whoa, no. I'm like, look, if $20 buy-in is appealing, I'll have you over.
Yeah.
You
Low
want to play with. Yeah. But it's also weird how socially you become someone else. I always consider myself, after doing tons of Middle East tours, like a lot of us entertainers, and experiencing things a lot of people don't experience, I thought, I'm not going to bug out. I'll tell you what, I bugged out. I got extra ammo. I have 2 Dobermans, And I'm still staring at the neighbor like, what, he looks a little fucking suspicious today. You know what I mean? Maybe we should put a couple cinder blocks over here, you know?
It could have. I mean, that's what I kind of think. If you keep people inside, eventually they're just going to go crazy. But
well, and the crime rate has gone up here. There's been a couple forced entries, and I'm sure, God bless anybody, wherever they fall in this situation. If they fall where they have family and they don't really have money for food and all, honestly, you don't even have to break into my house. Just be like, you want me to come in or are you coming out? And I'll come out. I'm like, look, here's some food. Here's some TP. Thanks for not breaking the door.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
it's insane, man. It's just weird. It brings out your like Mad Max mentality, you know?
Yeah. Well, we'll hope for the best. Let me, you know what? Let me ask you some questions. Let's bring some fun. Let's not dwell on this shit anymore.
Sorry.
No, it's good. No.
Did I look like CNN? Were you like
hyperventilating?
You're like, Butch, what the fuck?
No, I just am like, I don't even know what to say. I could talk about it forever, but just the uncertainty makes me scared and confused.
Right.
We'll take our minds off it.
I'll with Xanax. Open your mouth.
Right.
You're good.
I'm good.
There you are, bro. I got you.
Here we go. Let me hit you with some questions. Question 1, where are you from and where is the best place to eat in your hometown?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And if you don't know where that is, it's like Boardwalk Empire. That's like that whole boardwalk in old Atlantic City, very small city. You and I have stuff in common where we have power in our cities if you're local. Like, if you we're getting arrested in Atlantic City and you got a text message out to me in time, I could get you released.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can go, hey, cousin Mikey, yo, my boy Brandt's over at Tony's. He's a little fucked up. Can you guys let him roll? Okay, hold on. You know, like, you'll get free. You'll get free.
Yeah.
You know, but the food, Tony's Baltimore Grill in Atlantic City, very famous pizza. It's been there forever. It's all neon. We don't have a lot of neon where I'm from. You guys have it here. But it's all this red neon on this old Italian place. You go in, all they serve is like pasta and antipasta and salad, and then this pizza. And this pizza is just unreal. Tony's Baltimore Grill, Atlantic City, probably one of the best. White House sub shop is very famous because Sinatra used to order subs from the White House wherever he was touring in the country. The Beatles used to go there. Didn't used to go there. They fed there. I think I just exaggerated there. Like Paul was there every week as a child. So White House sub shop and Tony's Baltimore Grill. But I grew up in a little beach town outside of Atlantic City called Margate, and we had Dino's. So Dino's sub shop was also great. And those are like our fun food places that I love, you know.
Yeah.
So that's those.
Well, speaking of your childhood, what was your favorite toy as a child?
Ooh, man, you're good. I can't even believe you have 2 questions I've never been asked. This is great. Favorite toy as a kid. It's interesting. We loved our army men, and then one time I wasn't like a model builder, but one time I had like a little run where I built like a whole fleet of Navy and I put my soldiers on it. But then my brother Brian and I had a fight. And one of the things that would happen is if you had an argument, the room was like your sanctuary. My brother went in the room and played Godzilla and destroyed my whole fleet.
Oh, no.
So little green army men were weirdly precious. Like you could trade that for shit. And then this is going to date me, but dude, Atari was like, came out when we were like, Atari was weird. It like changed us because we went from like playing chase and hiding and going outside, maybe some Dungeons and Dragons. I kind of dug it. I'm a little bit nerdy. I got to admit, I'm an elf hunter. And then, and I think I was a cleric back then named Karis Barrel. I do know that because it's the pass on my ATM account, just so you know. But probably Atari was big. Mm-hmm. But those Green Army men, they still kind of hold value. Like if someone gave me a bag of Green Army men, my girl would come home and see them set up all over strategically to help guard the house.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy to think that you played with those Army men, and then fast forward later in life, you you get to go perform for the troops. Countless. How many times you perform for the troops?
I've been to Afghanistan 6 times. I've been to Iraq twice. I've been Guantanamo Bay, I think 3 times, and then all over safe zones, tons of times. Like, you know, tons in not in theater, like in theaters like war. Those I've done, you know, that many times, and then countless like Pearl Harbor, all of Japan, like probably 20 bases, 3 tours. Korea, 3 tours. Bosnia, Kosovo, 2 tours. Like just tons of that kind of stuff. And then in the U.S., troops coming home or leaving, and you know, I love all of those. In theater, though, this is how you know you're a crazy comic. There's nothing like performing for the troops in theater, like we're in a war zone. It is just unreal because for a minute you're Dave Chappelle.
Right? Yeah, they're just like, so happy to see you, right?
Doesn't work anywhere. But guess what? These people know good comedy.
That's awesome.
Explosion. This is good comedy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did. Ralphie May and I did one of my first tours to Iraq. We did a big show in Saddam Hussein's entertainment palace on the front steps, looking out at like 10,000 troops, and it was like probably one of the most incredible, bizarre experiences in my life. Me, him, and Bob Marley, and Ralphie's ex, Lana. It was crazy. It was incredible. But those are the shows.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know if this happened on one of these tours or just a question in life. At what moment in life have you been the most scared?
Definitely, that's one of them. We were in a Black Hawk, and they were doing this thing called Burning the Road. Because I was in Afghanistan during the first road ever built, and then during the first elections. So they would have our tours, since nobody was allowed to travel. The only people allowed to travel were like medical commanders, like the priest, and then the comics. God, it's so funny. The bands weren't allowed to travel, but they're like, oh, we could take Brandt and Butch. It's just 2 dudes. Let them go. Well, you know, like it was like, I'm like, are they complimenting us or are we expendable? You know what I mean? So they would load up our gear because it was just like 2 speakers and a mic, and they throw us in the Black Hawk, and we're burning this road. I had my face up against the side. I swear to God, it's going to sound it just sounds ridiculous. But we had an Apache on Apache escort, and I have my face as we're coming towards the village because I could hear machine guns, which you hear a ton. But I feel safe. I'm with 2 Black Hawks. They have 2, you know, I think 60s on left and right, a 50 cal. I don't even know. And then the Apache, I was like, we're good. Bullets are not going to hurt us. I had my face up against the Black Hawk, like it's like a plastic type of plastic, and I could barely see. It was fog, and a rocket. I could feel the heat pass my face. And this is just from me looking back at it, because initially their evasive maneuvers let me think we were hit. I thought I was hit. I thought my face was like melted off. The Black Hawk is going. I mean, the Black Hawk is like, you know, doing all these maneuvers where we are up, down, sideways, turn, and then I heard another impact all in a split second, which was the flares in case they fired again, as I looked back and figured out what happened. And then we sort of settle, and I look at my escort, and he had these gorgeous gold Oakleys, like gold framed Oakleys. But I look over at him, and his gold Oakleys are completely bent up, and we're both crying. But you can't hear because it's so loud. But we can see each other, and we start laughing. We're like, what the fuck? And then they landed, and they, you know, came over to me, and I go, I need a mirror. You know, my face is all burned up. And they're all laughing at me, and they showed my image to me. I didn't understand why I wasn't hurt. And they go, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I think we should get to the gig. And they loved me for it. But I think I was in shock. I think what I meant was take me home. But they heard take me to the gig, But that was crazy. But on all those tours, take Rocket Attack. So Rocket Attack with Avi Lieberman, that Rocket Attack, and I think I was with I can't remember what comedian I was with on that tour. That one, and then those two probably. And then I almost drowned once when I was like 22 because I was drunk and I thought I could swim.
Really? Well, you know, that might lead right perfect into my next question, which was what did you do on your 21st birthday? We
were on a beach. I was a bartender. We made this giant cooler of Baltimore Zoo. I don't even know if this exists, but we fill it with ice. We pour a case of Coronas in there, and then like 2 bottles of vodka, 2 bottles of rum, and then we pour like ginger ale in there, and you made like this evil thing, and then you just drank it by the cup. And then this big dude, Mike Z, he was like athletic, and he kept going, "You want to swim against me?" And I was like, Baltimore Zoo was like, "Butch, you're an incredible swimmer. You can really swim." And he raced to the ocean, and I remember it was like the sun was going down. I followed him. I dove in. I grew up by the beach. Mm-hmm. I swam all the way out, turned around. Everybody looked like I could hardly see them because the current was ripping out to sea. And when we turned back to come back to the beach, he goes, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then like 2 seconds later, I looked at him and I'm like, "I'm not all right." And both of us were going down. I yelled, "Float." This is so bizarre, this stuff you got me talking about. I come up to the surface. I swear to God, in that moment, I knew I was drowning. And I remembered that my aunt and my grandmother taught me as a little kid to float on my back. We learned in Egg Harbor Lake. It's so weird. We'd go there when I was a kid. You come up to the surface and I go, "Mike Z, my aunt said float on your back." We turned, float on our back, and we sort of just slowly calmed down and caught waves, and then we finally got into the beach. But that was my that was a good year.
Yeah. that's scary. Drowning
memories. This is the best interview of all.
Well, we'll push you back even further maybe, but when's the first time you got an autograph?
First time I signed stuff, maybe like, I don't know if I remember the exact first time, because I just felt like, I think it was probably during the USO stuff, but working in Hollywood in the Laugh Factory when it was like exploding, and like Dane Cook, and it was like the lineups were like Mitch Mulaney, Freddie Soto, Dane Cook, me, Tony Rock, and then like celebrity, but Ralphie May, all these people. Coming out of there, people would ask for autographs. But, I always get treated that with such a, like, humble form of respect. Weird. It's so weird, but I'm so thankful to hear it. And then on all the military tours, you sign and do autographs and stuff. And they know you. It's weird because guys were like, "Dude, I know you. I saw you in Germany, and I can't believe you're back, you sick fuck." And, they were so... Yeah, I don't remember the first one, but I do remember my hand shaking more than it usually does.
Yeah, I remember signing for the military. I was like, "What? You guys don't want my autograph? You guys are the best." It was a weird thing. It was flattering, but I was like, I mean, this is sweet, but you guys.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're like, "Sergeant John, sign my pit, please." Like, you're the most famous. Right?
Yeah. What about what's the first person you got an autograph from? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, wait, this is good. First person I ever got an autograph from. Well, growing up in Atlantic City, I think it was like, who do I remember? I remember meeting Don Rickles. I don't know if he signed anything. Who did I get an autograph from? That's a good one. I met so many celebrities, like, as a kid, because my mom would take us to resorts, which it was your hood, all casinos, and then we were the first Atlantic City to have a casino in the U.S. besides you. So, my childhood, my mom would take me there, and anybody from a small town will get this. This was the only casino, so everyone knew everyone that worked there. Everyone's cousin, uncle, aunt. This was the job, and if you weren't working there, you were a waiter or a waitress. If you were lucky, because it's a drinking town. And my mom would walk us in as little children, but I remember shaking hands with a lot of famous people like Barry Manilow and like Donna Summer. I think it was Donna Summer. I actually think it was Donna Summer.
That's awesome.
I think my brother got it. and her big song. We were so little, but I remember Donna Summer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about
that was it.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, easy, dude. If my girl could answer this, if my girl and I were on a dating show, she would answer this and we'd win $1 million. The Doors, every time, either Don't You Love Her Madly or Love Me Two Times.
Yeah.
Don't you love her madly? Ooh.
I've seen you do it. I've seen you perform it on some of those late night karaoke shows we had, which was awesome.
So hard to resist, right?
Yeah.
And my girl's a singer.
Yeah.
And she doesn't sing, so I'm in the house singing. And then every now and then I look over and I go, why don't you just say stop? Why are you listening to this?
Well, speaking of you and your girl, what do you guys have on your fridge door?
I'm going to the fridge right now. Okay. This is funny. Comedian Alex Ansel babysat our dog. He put his own picture on our fridge. We have a Christmas card photo we took at DJ Ashbro's Christmas party where he had one of those little booths. And we got in and we made 4 different poses. And I got to tell you, as cheesy as those are, we crushed this. We have a Make Your You Bright 2020 with art by Brandon McGill. My eyes aren't good enough to see what months are on there. And then we have another 3-layer forever picture set of us in a booth.
Nice.
We have I have my girl Carla's old Pandora name tag, which you're not even supposed to have, but she kept it. And then we have like it's right up. We have our Doberman magnet because we have 2 Dobies, and then we have a Mexican magnet from Mexico City. And then, look at this, dude, the ticket sales, because Carla does tickets. You'll love this. So Absinthe, $62. Grand Canyon, $100. Comedy Cellar, $30. Chris Angel, $55. The buffets are on here. Like, she's got every show actual cost on the professional ticket sale from all the properties, because that's what she does. She goes out and like, hey, you want to see Piff the Magic Dragon? It's $45, or we'll keep you for 2 hours and you'll buy a property for $40,000 and hate me.
Yeah.
Hate me. The Bronx Wanderers, Vegas Variety, all these shows. And then we have, this is gonna maintenance list. The master bedroom sink still fucked up. Towel holder still fucked up because I just can't do that stuff. I don't know how to do any of it. I go to Home Depot and I come back and I go, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
and then a magnet counter with it says, Butch, get your old SAG checks. In my mind, there's a gold mine of old checks from the handful of times I've been on TV, and I just haven't discovered them yet. Yeah. So that's it. And the calendar.
What about
March calendar?
Do you collect anything?
Not really. Do I collect things? I'm a picture guy. I love pictures, which we have to get one of you and I for my wall. I got this love wall. I'm all about pictures because it's I think being a single mom, my brother and I, and we had there was a minute where she was making tons of money when resorts opened. And then we went up and down financially. We had some hard times that didn't feel hard to me. But looking back as an adult, I realized, being in a hotel for a minute, probably not good. But the pictures are so vital to me because when your life is messed up, if you have your pictures, you have all your memories, and they refuel you. You know?
Yeah, of course.
So pictures are important to me.
Yeah. Well, that'll bring me to my next question. The ups and downs, and I don't know if it's as a childhood or as a comedian, but where's the weirdest or worst place you've ever had to sleep?
Oh, yeah, that's good because, worst place. I've done the couch thing on people, throughout comedy where I was on the couch and I'm just waiting for the house to go to sleep. And then I could just secretly go into their liquor cabinet to have 3 shots to bring my anxiety down and just get buzzed enough to go, no, this is cool. It's just temporary. Jack Daniels has got you, dude. In the morning, they're all going to wake up way too early. You're going to have to sit up, and you're going to look like the loser you are. But there's hope. Who knows what's down the road for you? Just remember, there are these difficult times. I'm here. Jose's here. Vaca's here. You find us. And remember, even if you're right or wrong, we're on your side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Couches are tough. Done the car thing. I was never like, I was very blessed in comedy, I think when we were kids, my mom had a real tough time. For a minute, she moved us to Vermont, and we spent like 3 months in a hotel. And my brother and I were so delusional, and my mom was cool. So we were happy, even though that was a difficult time. I think it's more difficult to look back as an adult and think I couldn't go back and help my mom or assist that situation. Because my brother and I, we went to the hotel room, we played pool. Today kids would be missing in that situation, but we were in Vermont. My mom came up with this idea to move there and buy it in, and it just went to shit. And but we recovered from that period of time. And but yeah, I think those were the hardest parts. Being that childhood moment, and then in comedy, moving to Hollywood, living in that little studio in a dirty neighborhood, and on the floor, and I had my bag. And I was laying there, and I remember just talking out loud because it's still bright and loud. It's Hollywood; you can hear your neighbors talking at 1 a.m. And I'm laying there, and I'm like, you have fucked your whole life up. I'm like, you comedian? Are you out of your fucking mind? You had a girlfriend. You were managing major nightclubs. What the fuck were you thinking? Look at you now.
Well, then on the flip, when did it finally flip? What was your first crazy LA Hollywood night when you're like, I can't believe I'm here with these people? Or
I first got to Hollywood. Hollywood was things have always happened with my career. I was always very blessed with totally broke, and then the next day I was on the Martin Short show way before I should have ever done TV. I had no one to. Bob Marley was guiding me and teaching me and showing me how to do TV sets. So, and
wait, for the listeners, Bob Marley's a famous comedian, not the. If you don't know, I just wanted to preface that because they're probably like, Bob Marley was helping you.
Yeah, Bob Marley, the comedian. He's out of Maine. He's been on a million things. He was in Boondock Saints, but he's like a Harvard a Harvard scholar of the art of comedy. He had just all the Tonight shows, any TV show, he would know. He'd figure out how to get on there. He'd write a set for it in 20 minutes. And he got me into the Laugh Factory, got my audition there. And I was just that was so difficult. But a friend of his came up to me when I got there. I mean, I was broke. I was skinny broke. A buddy of mine, it's so corny, but my buddy and I would meet. He was a claymation master. And we'd meet. We'd put our money together. Usually we could get 2 coffees, and we'd get a sandwich and share it. But then he started sleeping with the girl at the coffee house to get us extra food. So, and that's true. He was a stud. So I was like, dude, you just got to date her for a little while. Come on. She's the Green Marble Cafe girl, whatever. Just look away for us. And but in Hollywood, I'd say I got into a documentary called Open Mic when I was totally broke. Martin Short show, I honestly didn't do stand-up. I honestly walked. They opened the curtain. I stepped out, and I looked around, and I went, I can't even believe this is happening. And Martin Short was sitting with Paul Schaefer, and I pointed at them, and I was like, I love you guys. It was so out of my league. But I kept getting things. Dane Cook was exploding. There was a line around the block, and I was getting good fast because I was getting beat up so bad. They had me follow Dane. I think he had me follow Dane 25 times in a row, and I went to him. I was like, Jamie, what are you doing? Jamie Masada. I was like, Jamie, what are you doing? He was like, Buddy, I've got plans for you, Buddy. You don't know, but you get better every day, Buddy. You stop being bitch, get up, follow Dane, Buddy. Do it, Buddy. And then one day, it just started to flow. So those times it was popping on a constant, like I got into the Comedy Store, which was a dream. I'm a regular at the store. I'm a regular at the Laugh Factory. Like, this is crazy. I can walk into these clubs. And then the Martin Short show made me, I called the Improv. I said, if anybody gets this message, can you watch me tomorrow morning on the Martin Short show? You're a dream of mine to work there. And I hung up. I was embarrassed. I left that message. Like, I called somebody, like some girl I don't know, and went, hey, I got your number from Brandt, And, but then 2 days later, I called the Improv, and they were like, yes, there's a note here from Mr. Bud Friedman that says, welcome to the Improv. You can start calling in for your date. So I'm a regular at these places. So each of those experiences was like lottery tickets you could never even hit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and I didn't have a car, dude. Me and Tony Rock walked everywhere. No one will ever believe that. When he first got to Hollywood, we shared my studio for probably 4 months.
Where were you guys at? Where was the studio?
Sycamore in Hollywood. And it was still the hood. It's right next to Grauman's,
the theater. Yeah. That's right by where we were. Yeah.
Yeah, like 18th Street gang dudes were cool with us because my buddy, Kevin, who was sleeping with the Green Marble Cafe girl, was friends with all of them. So he would let them all come to his apartment, hide weapons and smoke, and then he could like point out who his friends were, and we could kind of walk around the neighborhood freely.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd go to his house, me and Tony, Green Jello would be there jamming, and we would be there with gang members, and Tony was like, dude, we got to get the fuck out. We have to start doing well in comedy fast. If this is our night out, we started going to Hollywood parties. Mitch Mulaney brought me to my first Hollywood party, gave me his card, and he said, you're going to need this. And I'll close this story out here. He gave me his card because you're going to need this. I go, I don't think so. He goes, and he laughed. He goes, Bob Marley said, you're good people. I got you. The next day I woke up. I'm starving. I have no furniture. I have my bag and the studio. I called him. I go, hey, Mitch, you said you were having a party. He goes, yeah, shoot up in the Hollywood Hills here. I go, and I got quiet, and he laughs. He was so funny. He goes, you don't have a fucking car, do you? I go, no, I don't, Mitch. I don't have a car right now. And he goes, where do you live? And he goes, I'm coming to get you. And I told him, and he laughed so hard. And he pulled up in front of my neon green apartment, which was once like 1764 Sycamore. It's where Jim Morrison lived. It's where Paul Revere and the Raiders lived. But when I lived there, homeless people were sneaking in and out all night. So he pulled up, and he took me up to his place in the hills. I couldn't even believe when I walked through the front door. There were so many stars like that I grew up watching, like dudes from the brother from Family Ties was there, not Michael J. Fox, the other brother, like weird, iconic celebrities. There were porn people in a hot tub. The house was mind-blowing. There was food everywhere. I remember someone hugging me and kissing me, and she's like, oh, are you Mitch's friend? I was like, yeah, just kind of, yeah. What's happening? Like the whole thing, the pool, it looked fake. It just didn't look real. And Mitch Mulaney just took incredible care of me. He's like, if you ever need anything, and he would grab Tony and I and take us out to like the clubs where there's a line with 200 people, and Tony never used his name. That's why, he wanted to be. Tony worked and grinded his own grind. He became Tony by himself. But those were the days, and each day was magical, and they still are. Not like that. Yeah,
that's crazy. Well, speaking of that, who have you met in life that made you the most nervous?
Interesting. Let's see. The most nervous. I spoke to Paul McCartney for 4 seconds. That made me nervous. George Carlin, I met twice. Really, I've seen him. I've been around him a lot, but I met him twice for real in a conversation. That made me nervous. So many celebrities. I've been blessed. I met. You'll love this one. I told you this a long time ago. My buddy and I used to sneak into shows at casinos like you did. And I mean, you're like the king of the kings, but I have some goodies. And, and I got in and I pushed this security door open and I'm like, why is it stuck? And I go, my buddy Jim, we called him Flavor. I go, push, Flavor. This is on the other side of this door. We're inside Tyson's victory party. You just got to fucking push. So we push, and I can see this row of arms in blue holding hands, and I shove. And it's all policemen holding their hand to hand in a circle. And we bend the circle. Cops are looking back at us. The circle bends. The doors open. I come face to face with Muhammad Ali. And I go,
shit.
I go, Muhammad Ali. And the cops flex. They push the circle back. The door shut in Flavor in my face. And I go, dude, we just met Muhammad Ali.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's so cool. What's your go-to fast food order?
You know, I'm so healthy since I came to Vegas, which people would never believe, but you know me.
Yeah, no, it's
so
great.
I work out, I train like 4 days a week, and I don't do it because I'm trying to be anything. I do it for my brain because my brain's so crazy. So I run, I got the dogs. So my go-to food that I don't feel horrible about is Chipotle.
Is Chipotle?
And that's really, that's bad because my girl is Mexican and her food is just mind-blowing. But I'm like, babe, I'm like, I'm on the fly. I gotta get a little of the fake stuff to keep me going here, And so I love that. I love. I just changed so much, but I love that. But food, like snacky stuff, like gummy worms, I don't need to be high to eat a bag of gummies.
Yeah.
Like I could eat gummies. I don't know what that consistency is. Maybe it's something from infancy. I just remember something, and I love them.
That's my girl. That's how my girl is. Whenever we fly anywhere, she stops at the gift shop, gets some gummies, and they're usually gone by the time we take off.
I crush them. I love them. Gummies are just like, that's just unbelievable. Yeah. And then you combine my favorite texture with marijuana. I'm like, wait, I should only eat one because I might kill this bag. This orange is real.
Yeah.
But Chipotle is probably my thing. And of course, pizza forever.
Yeah.
Pizza forever. Growing up East Coast, there's so many similarities you guys have here in Vegas. Pizza, there's great pizza in Colorado. There's great.
Yeah.
Everybody's got pizza's like, God food if it's done correctly.
Yeah. Well, what about this? What city do you hope you never have to go to again?
Ooh, that's good. Never have to go to again. I always compare those to like comedy. Philly, I like Philly. I'm not, but Philadelphia is, I like Philly. I love the people of Philadelphia, but I've never had my return face off with comedy with Philly because when I started, every single time I was on stage in Philly, I ate it so bad it's embarrassing. I mean, I ate it. I mean, sometimes I gain strength remembering feeling my face like this piece of sweat that left my hairline, and it came and it got stuck on the tip of my nose, and I could tell the audience knew there was a big drip of sweat there. But inside my soul, I said, fuck you. I'm not wiping that. Fuck you. I'm not wiping that. I'll let that sit there. It was like an itch I was dying to scratch. But all I had left of myself was to not wipe that off my nose.
I love it.
And then later on, we see Bill Burr, right before maybe I'll humbly say, started to discover his voice. And he faces off with Philly. I was like, whatever you do, Bill, don't let him see you sweat, Bill. You got this, Bill. And he's his energy each second to second and beat to beat. Philly is hard, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not a, there's something about Philly where I'd love to go drinking with like 5 of us. I love that energy there. But I can go to a sporting event and hope that we're wearing the proper color, but everything else, I'm good. I'm good about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of sporting events, what's the best sporting event and concert you've ever been to?
Okay. Let's see. I haven't been to a lot of concerts. Honestly, Hey, The Cure was really good. Okay, I was 22 and everybody was 15, but I was excited to be there. The Cure was unfucking believable. But I saw a lot of like intimate band movements, like in LA, this place called the Mint. I would sneak in, after shows, and they like would kind of treat us really well, like the working comics. And I got to watch like Ben Folds 5 like mix in and jam with everybody. So, and I just like watch that drummer destroy, and I love watching those intimate moments with bands, like when they're not in the big situation. But I love live music, but I love to be like in that blues feeling of it, of intimacy. And what was the other part of the question?
What's the best sporting event you've ever been to?
Oh God, what's the best sporting event? Well, I'm weird. Like I played lacrosse, I played football, I rode in high school, but later in life, I would say, Boston. When I first started comedy in Boston, my first real baseball experience. Once when I was a child, we watched Philadelphia play the Dodgers, but I was a little kid, and it was beautiful. I don't remember much. And then. But Boston, we would pay like $14 and sit on the wall, the monster. And I remember going in there and feeling Boston, like I can see it as bright as day. And I'm like, I'm in a special place. I don't even remember who was playing, but every time I was in Fenway, holy God, man, it was just, Fenway was like incredible. And the next time I ever felt that way, which was like being brought back, given a youth pill, was how Las Vegas hosts Golden Knights. The way they put on a hockey event here, I feel safe. I feel good. Everyone's classy. Everyone's helping one another. The audience is, the way it is it's all Vegas, but it's also the part of Vegas that people don't know if they've never lived here. I mean, I've been touring here for 15 years, but I had no clue that this is a family town with a little bit of country, with a horse in the backyard and a pickup truck. And they are the original designers of the AR-15. That started out as a BB gun. That Brandt was one of the original developers. It's the BB gun. His friends took a go-kart and the BB gun, and they made the AR-15. But everyone's friendly and cool and chill. Like my gas station, I go down there and I fuck with the people at the gas station, and they give it right back to me. They're like, Butch, what's up? You working material out in aisle 2, bitch? Like, it's fun. Like, local living is really peaceful. It's very Midwest.
Yeah, it's a part that most people don't get. That it's just when people are like, "Oh, you live in Vegas, it must be crazy." I was like, "It's not. It's crazy if you want it to be, and there's definitely crazy nights, but." You know, when you live off the strip, you don't go to the strip unless you're performers or entertainers like us, or you're going for something special, but you don't just hang out on the strip, man. I actually really loved, I lived on the east side of Vegas, but I loved it for a long time.
Yeah. Minus ocean and like, I do miss the ocean and water. Like, although you get used to it because there's such a trade-off, because your evenings, it's, I come home, my girl's a glass of wine, we smoke a little bit of weed at 68 degrees, and we're outside, and my dogs are laying there. And I also love how in Vegas there's a little wall around my property. For someone with my weirdo brain, I'm like, this is my forward operating base. I have a fob. Like I'm safe. I got my dog. You have to get through the gate. Good luck. Then you get to crazy me. So then it's 3-on-1. And then I'm yelling gun, and Carla's lock and loading somewhere. From, I have a Texican in the back room locking and loading at 9/11 and an AR. So like I feel safe here.
I think you're not to be messed with for sure.
Baby, no matter what they do to you, don't tell them where the toilet paper is. No matter what, let them touch you, baby. Let them touch you.
Well. That's what I love about you now. You're like the sweetest, I'm not husband yet, but boyfriend. But when I first met you, you were wild Butch, man. And I remember you telling me stories like, here's a question that a lot of comics can't answer because they've never been that crazy. But what about, I know you have been arrested, but is there one story that's the best one?
God, what's weird is So I do the New Jersey State Trooper event every year, four times. And the COVID-19 broke out as I was leaving Chicago to get there. I got locked down in Chicago, whatever. That event is so weird for me because these guys have arrested me, I think, like 3+ times, and they all love me and they're all nice. And my cousin is like a high-ranking New Jersey State Trooper. They all know me. They all love me. And guess what? That's some of the most disgusting behavior I've ever given off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like cause the comedian voice, like hammered and exhausted from the road, and just little whiny bitch drunk Butch when he wasn't right, maybe at the level he wanted to be, and then pulled over. I'm like, you fucking asshole! Really, you're gonna do this to me? Listen, I didn't hit any other vehicles. I couldn't get out of the casino parking garage, so I rode the wall down 4 levels. The car's fine,
Yeah.
But the worst one ever is the California one, because I started out really normal, like quiet. I just did 4 shots of tequila, and it hit me that I had to drive home, and I was scared. And I did like the strangest, like amateur move. I jumped in the car and started flying to get from Santa Monica to Hollywood. I was like, I gotta fucking drive as fast as I fucking can before this tequila hits me, and not like such an ignorant, moron.
Yeah.
It's already in you, dude. You're a DUI, But I ran out of gas.
Oh.
This trooper must have smelled it. I don't know how they smell it. They're gifted. They can smell a car down. He might have been out of the state, but he smelled it. And he found me on this little beach road, and I walked away from the car, and he pulls up next to me. There's nothing, just me walking on a dark beach road. And he goes, hey, he just pulls up next to me, and he starts working his own stand-up. Hey, did you leave something behind you? I look back, and I go, ooh, yeah, there's a car there. I don't know who that belongs to. And he goes, really? He goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm just kind of walking, just kind of getting some air. He goes, where do you live? I turned, and he goes, stop. He gets out of his car. I go, look, I've been drinking. I totally fucked up. Is there anything you can do for me? I'm like sort of still in control of my mouth. He's being cool. He probably already knows I'm arrested. Another trooper shows up. I have a Boston hat on, and he goes, okay, Boston, let's get the hat off. I put my hands in my pockets. I'm just nervous all of a sudden. And he goes, I said, take your hands out of your pocket. He goes, take your hat off, take your hands out of your pocket. I put my hands in my pocket. And I'm not trying to defend myself. So the tequila's coming on strong. Yeah. He then knocks my hat off my head, and tequila took over. And I became like, a güero. Like I became like a white Mexican comedian, and I was like, yo, fuck you. You fucking needed that uniform, Tequila took over, and I was like, I went up and down him. I'm like, you were a bully your whole life. You blah, 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 blah. I had to read that transcript. My lawyer was like, but they grab me. They're dragging me to the car. He throws my face down. I start to fight, and I spit in his direction.
Oh, no.
He charged me with 9/11 terrorist act, which is because spitting is an assault on back then when they created that little law. Yeah. And they were so pissed at my mouth, and then I spit, and I remember how happy he was. He goes, "Yeah, grab the DNA swab." He spit. I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "You guys aren't really doing that, right?" I'm like, I just, I'm hammered. I'm just like, "What the? I'm being a dick." Tase me and release me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they bagged me, and they hid me in Twin Towers for 4 nights so nobody could track me down.
Holy shit.
So I went into one of HBO's worst prisons, and they hid me, and I was in her place with, dude, it was so crazy. But when I got to the window, I was like, 12 hours later in jail, the woman's like, I was like, so when are they releasing me? He's like, releasing you? I go, I've never been in trouble in my life.
Yeah.
And she goes, sir, you were charged with terrorist threats on a California state trooper. I go, terrorist threats? She goes, it says it here. I go, I've never been in jail in my life. Are you kidding me? And she leans over and she goes, you have medical needs, right? I go, excuse me? She goes, you have severe asthma? I go, yeah, I have severe asthma. She goes, okay, sir. She put a blue bracelet on my arm. And I go, get arrested, have to shower with 100 men naked. Most of those guys are been so many times, they're waiting for the water to get warm. I just got in, did it, got ready for fighting. and then they march us, and they put me in a medical pod. And I was in a medical pod with all these fucking killers. But when they're in the medical pod, they all kind of take a break and they don't fight. They're all kind of resting up. It's like, one guy's got the flu, the other one's like HIV, whatever the fuck. It's like crazy land. But they're all resting. They're all like crazy, from serious ailments to like a common cold, and to they lie to just get out of their pod and, get out of the gang. A real deal pod, which was broken up into gangs and culture, and a black pod, a white pod, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was in there. And for 4 nights, I did not sleep. And it was with a guy named Crunch and Munch. I swear to God, his name was Crunch and Munch. And it came out of my mouth. I go, what are you in here for? And he goes, for manslaughter. And I went, oh. I remember, that's when one guy kills another, right? But you didn't do it on purpose, right? Dude, I said it like I was an innocent 13-year-old boy. Yeah. And he looked at me and he was like, yeah, we're not talking anymore. And I went, okay, cool. I'm going to walk around a while. But that was the worst. I had so much anxiety. It changed me. And that was just like stupid. But every now and then, the American Butch needs a lesson. Hopefully never to that extreme. But that was the worst fucking thing in my life ever.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Oh.
Well, what about this? What's the greatest physical pain you've ever felt?
Ooh, that's pretty good. The greatest physical pain. Let's see. I've been blessed in that world. I hope you're not jinxing me.
No.
Yeah, I think the one that's most probably unusual was when I was in China. I was living in China. I moved there and I was doing stand-up. I got an offer to go out there to China. Less healthy me, but I was trying to make it work. They had lacrosse. So I had played like semi-pro lacrosse after college for some years, but this was like 15 years later. So all these dudes on the lacrosse team, I was like, you can play lacrosse in China? They're like, yeah, Shanghai has a team. I'm like, I'm a beast. I got this. So I went, and I could throw still and toss, but I was so out of shape, I didn't know it. That was like when I realized how out of shape I was. These guys, I go first day thinking I'm just going to find out what we're doing. They're on this professional field in Shanghai, and I get there, and they're like, okay, here's your jersey, here's your stuff, here's your stick. We're playing, the Chinese team, whatever they are. And I'm like, what do you mean we're playing? I'm like, everyone was like 21 to 24. Some were 18. Most of them were like major players in the U.S., like pros, like murderers. Some of the guys were in their 30s. They were all killers. I'm on a field within fucking 10 minutes running. And all of a sudden I'm in front of the goal. I was so out of breath, dude. I just thought I was probably going to black out, drop dead. I really did. They throw me a pass in front of the goal. I catch it. I know that if I do what I need to do to score, that this kid coming across the field who's maybe 21, it looked like his body was just opened up fresh out of a box.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming at me 100 miles an hour. I shot. I scored. I went black. He hit me. I went black. I laid there. And I remember them coming over. I was staring down on the grass at my cleat. And someone goes, are you good? I go, I remember with my face in the grass, I go, I'm going to need a minute. That was so fucking painful. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that I was able to stand and walk. Jesus. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, but I scored.
Yeah, nice. Well, what was that?
Yeah.
What was the Chinese experience of doing stand-up over there like?
It was incredible. I wasn't at my healthiest. I was exhausted and dealing with some shit. My brother had passed, but it was an incredible opportunity. I was like first American stand-up to live and work in China. And Andy and Turner, guys from Kung Fu Comedy, teamed up with a guy named Paulie, and they were like, look, we want to bring you over and give you like a residency and help us to develop the Chinese scene and the expat scene. So at the time, it was incredible because young Chinese youth are just all fluent in English. So they're coming in at all ages, 18 to to 30 and their English is perfect. You're thinking you're talking to an American, and they were taking photos just to say they were at an American stand-up show because it's all based on freedom of speech. That is an incredible thing to hear and see for them.
Yeah.
And so I was getting to know the culture, and I was mixing my improv through the culture and getting to work an audience in Chinese with some basic Chinese. And then, like 3 months, I started to understand basic Chinese. It just was so incredible. It's exhausting because they never stop building. It's very loud. The air quality, the really only main issue I ever had over there, everybody was friendly. And it was, I just changed. I call China the American whisperer. I got to understand that them shoving me on the train was a compliment. They're like, if I don't get you on this train, you're here for another 20 minutes. They're not shoving you like dickhead. They're shoving you like, Brandt, you got a family to get to. We're going to help you. We're going to squeeze you in. Good luck, buddy. See you in Suzhou.
Yeah, that's cool.
I loved it, but I was definitely at not a healthy point. That was like the beginning of me realizing the road was exhausting me, and I wasn't drinking a lot. If the little I drank hit me like a ton of bricks, just from being on the road for years.
Yeah,
I would go like Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, back to China, just all over India, back just boom, 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 boom. And then like having a couple of cocktails to sort of maintain my brain, like just to figure out where I was, which was, that you're trying to find what's going to help you maintain the ability to pull oxygen into your lungs without getting put away as a mental patient. So,
yeah.
and then killing. And that didn't help because about 85% of the time, 90% of the time I was killing, which doesn't help because you come off and you're like, you know what? This poison's working. Oh, shit. Put it in the belly. But incredible. And it's what helped make me help prepare me for this residency in Vegas. Because if I didn't go through that experience, I wouldn't pass the bar every night and go to the gym and get up. Because this time, I'm like, I know how to do this. I have to be as healthy as possible. I have to grind. I can't be tired. And I have to honor the art. So, it's best. And also enjoy myself and be human. Have I had wine? Of course. My girl and I have had wine. But I look at it differently. It's not what brings me down. It's not what, and then the medicinal use of marijuana, I believe, is extremely healthy and better on the body. So I have just completely changed. But that Chinese time gave me the ability to just recently re-sign with the Strat in LA Comedy Club for another 3 years plus. So I'm blessed.
Yeah.
But China beat shit out of me. But the truth is Butch beat the shit out of Butch. China just walked.
Yeah.
China was like, you need to do that. If you need to do that, we're cool with it, dude. I mean, coming out of my hotel room at 2 a.m, hammered, looking for the bathroom, half asleep, and realizing I'm naked in the hallway and having to cut my balls to get in the elevator and go downstairs and ask the guy at the front desk for the key. Not a proud moment.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's great, and I'm so happy for you and proud of you because you are. Every time I'm in Vegas, you're healthy and you're sharper than I've ever seen on stage. You're just so quick.
Oh, thanks.
But
buddy.
with that being said, let's just take it back one more time. What was the best party you ever went to in your crazy partying days?
You mean what I remember?
Yeah.
Let's see. God, there's so many fun moments. It's funny how alcohol has such a romantic element with me. And then, now seeing both sides, because I grew up, alcohol in my town was 3:45 in the morning, and then you went to Atlantic City. So like we grew up around the acceptance of like alcohol being in your life. So later on, the parties, let's see, so many, dude. Oh, well, the Tyson Victory Party, dancing with Dolph Lundgren's girlfriend. But then in Hollywood, the crazy ones in Hollywood, so many. Sharing a joint with Chappelle, in the Comedy Store green room, talking about life there with, I got hammered with Kiefer Sutherland in a little bar called Coach and Horses, and I had just loaded the jukebox, an old jukebox at this dirty bar. And I'm walking, and The Cure comes on, and Kiefer Sutherland across this hipster bar yells, "Hey, Butch, did you play The Cure?" And I didn't want anyone to know that I just dropped in The Cure, right? And I looked over, and I go, "Yeah, Kiefer." I got to say his name, right? I wanted to say his name out loud like we're boys. I go, "Yeah, Kiefer, I played The Cure." He goes, "Butch, I fucking love The Cure." And I looked at it like the hipster bar, and I went, "Yeah, fuck you, bitches. Kiefer and I love The Cure."
That's awesome. Well, I think you told me one time, didn't you have like a crazy Tracy Morgan night or something? Did you guys ever hang out with Tracy Morgan?
Yeah. Me and Tony went out with him, and there was like 200 people at this Hollywood line, and I'm like a friend, but I don't know how to handle a guy like Tracy Morgan because he's like very, very street, very Hollywood, and kind of like one of those volatile guys where when he's partying, you're like, he could punch me and knock me, and like he's not gonna hit me because we're drunk and he doesn't. He might just knock me out for fun and then be like, "Dude, wasn't that fun?" Like Tracy Morgan scared me. And Tony warned me. Tony's like, "Just let him do his thing. Don't try and help him. He doesn't need help." And Tracy was just partying his fucking face off, and he took his shirt off and goes, "Follow me. I'm going to show you how to be a celebrity." And he pushed through this line. And they would be upset, then they'd realize it's him. They'd be upset, then they'd realize it's him. They'd be upset. They'd look at me like, "Who the fuck are you?" He pushed himself all the way up through all these dressed to the nines people, and he got to the doorman, hugged him, and goes, "These guys are with me." I don't remember the doorman saying, "Go ahead." We went in. We go to the bar. He orders shots. He throws a stool. He's dancing. He's playing. They let him do anything and everything he wanted. And I was terrified the whole night, and I couldn't believe that the freedom of being a celebrity at his level, like watching him just do whatever the fuck he wanted. And I don't. If I did that, death, and then I'd probably get back to meeting Crunch and Munch again. Yeah,
it's wild. All right, here, let me wrap this up for you. Thanks for giving so much time to me, Butchie. I love you, buddy.
Fun. I love you too, dude. We miss you in Vegas. I'm glad you're killing it at Comedy Works in Colorado. All we hear is amazing things.
It's the best.
I've been dying to do this podcast.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where I'm like, I don't think he's going to have me on.
No.
No, it's fine.
When we were in Vegas, it was just busier. Well, I'd finish a show, then you do a show, and then at midnight.
I know. But this is the point is I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. So I'm excited.
Well, thank you
for having me on.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple more. We'll get out of here. Who's the person you call when you have a bad day?
Well, I'm lucky because Carla, I can tell anything. My girl's really cool. We have a great friendship, a great relationship. Stephen Roberts is a comic here in Vegas who is just like the coolest, nicest guy. And
Sweetheart.
And then I have like this friend of mine in Portland, Maine, Steve Barton, and he's just like a dude who's done it all. Like he's in his 60s, he still lives. He's been wealthy, he's been poor, he's been wealthy, and I can call him and we just talk philosophically about life. Buddy Brian Gordon, a comic I started with, and then my childhood best friend Mike Chofee. I have a good handful of like really far out there people who are like philosophical people who are open to everything, and you just tell them, you're like, whatever it is, and they're cool, and then you're telling stories and you feel better. But it's always been a small, intimate group, but but Stephen Roberts is funny, a comic hero. I know you know.
Yeah,
I can call him with anything, and he's just chill. He sort of fills up like a mother void. He's like fills my mother void,
Yeah.
He's like mom, sort of, but he's my buddy.
Yeah, no, he's great. Just a great dude. What song always makes you happy when you hear it?
Oh God, I have so much music that I love. I love like the Black Keys. I love the White Stripes. I love Old Bjork, who I saw in concert in Boston, dude. I wandered in there when I was poor, and they let me in as a comedian. I heard her sing "Birthday" live, and I also and the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, dude. That's right.
Yeah.
Good callback to your question. The Killers, Mr. Brightside. The Killers, dude. Who sings Mr. Brightside? The Killers.
Killers,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. That song makes me happy. The Black Keys, Can't Run Me Down. There's a lot, but 80s music always works too. You know what I mean? Like my girl played 80s music this morning while we were pounding coffee, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to go buy roller skates. What the fuck are we doing today? You know what I mean? What the fuck?
I love it.
Let me get some weird short shorts. Let's get some roller skates and a neon hat. Let's go.
I love it.
Yeah. Old Flock of Seagulls, The Cure, The Smiths, The Damned, The Clash all day long.
Yeah.
But Morrison makes me want to be in an old muscle car, and it's still acceptable though, because right next to my gear shifter is a perfectly designed whiskey on the rocks holder, and I can drive. And there's an old dusty sidearm in the passenger seat, and I'm going to do bad things.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So wait, so now you just re-signed, and then what nights a week are you there at the Strat?
Friday to Tuesday, 10 p.m. At the LA Comedy Club inside the Strat, which they just dropped $250 million into. It's gorgeous, and the LA Comedy Club owners, Matt, Joaquin, and Ezra, they're so kind and good. Those are your brothers. Those guys love you.
They were the first ones that really give me a chance. That'll always be the club I started with, and those guys, they are always very
great.
Special. So yeah, but they
let me tour. I go to LA. I shot my special, which is done, and now we're in talks with a piggyback project. Obviously on hiatus at this minute, but any minute all that'll come to be. And then I did that movie with Steve Byrne, which is finally being released with Jimmy O Yang,
which is awesome. Yeah.
So cool.
No, you're always killing it, and I recommend seeing Butch live. That he's one of the best, and it's always different. And you're on that short list of people where if it's 2 shows a night, where people come to the first show and then just come right back to the second show, which is is a very rare that people do that. So I love you, buddy. And where can everybody find you?
I'm on Instagram, Butch Bradley Comedy. That's the best place to find me. That's really the best spot to get. Find me on Instagram, Butch Bradley Comedy. And I'm doing Land of Giants, where, I interview all these guys, which I got to get you on.
Yeah.
Where I interview Frank Mir, a lot of UFC fighters, and DJ Ashbun, Todd Fisher. So that's going to continue to be my project here in Vegas, as I interview all the killers that are here in Vegas, making Vegas. So
yeah, and I'll be back into August.
I can't wait to shoot that episode, brother.
Yeah,
we'll walk
have
around
fun.
the strip and we'll celebrate. Hopefully, it'll be jammed, and we'll be making bets.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Last question for you. Thanks again. Thank you so much for doing this, Butch. If you could script your last words before you die, what would they be?
I think I just got the red light, so let me close on this. It's been fucking amazing. Thanks for having me.